Morning.
Morning.
So today's youth message is going to be called The Story of Life. All right? When you were born, you were a creative genius. Okay? 98% of children are creative geniuses. Jay, you're a genius. I don't know if anybody has told you that, but you are a genius. So now think about this. If 98% of us are born to be geniuses, that means all of us here in this room, we're a genius. Now, I don't know if we feel like a genius today, all right? But you were all a genius. So what happened? Rodney, congratulations. I don't know if June told you, but you're a genius. Why are children geniuses? They have creativity. If you've ever had kids, they take a refrigerator box and they turn it into a helicopter. They turn it into a castle. And they believe it. They really believe it. You guys are nodding your heads, right? Yeah, right. Do you do that? Do you take a refrigerator box and turn it into a castle?
No, but I took a box once and turned it into a kitty that I could hide inside of.
Genius. There it is. No, you have it. You're a genius, okay? So it's creativity. Kids have creativity. Kids also live in a world of colors. You understand colors. And you have imagination. And the fourth key ingredient to being a genius as a child is you experience joy. Incredible joy. Why do you think like this? Because you've probably heard this before, that there's two sides to your brain, right? There's one side of your brain that is rational, logical, intellectual, and there's the other side of your brain that deals with imagination and creativity, endless possibilities, and joy. Children are creative geniuses, because they use that side of their brain that is creative and colorful and has imagination and lives in a world of joy. What happens, right? Why does Rodney not feel like a genius right now? What happened to Rodney, okay? Well, one day for all of us, and I don't know if it's happened to you yet, but this thing's going to show up out front of your door, okay? And it's going to pick you up. In fact, you might be forced onto it, kicking and screaming. Yes, you're raising your hand. Do you like getting on the bus? Oh, good. Okay, that's good.
Then it doesn't exactly pick me up to go to school, but it picks me up to go to it after.
That's better than going to school. All right, the school bus takes you here, all right, to this wonderful place where we create structure in your life. And we start to teach you answers, all right? And in this world, we take imagination and we replace it with memorization. We memorize the facts in the book so we can regurgitate it on the test. And we replace creativity with compliance. We follow instructions, okay? And we do this so that we can take these things called tests. All right? And we take lots of tests. Some of you are laughing because you're reading the text. All right? Somebody is really retaining their creative genius on this test. All right? So we take all these tests. Why? And we go through all this schooling. And we pass high school. And what we're doing during this time, we're rewiring our brains. That's what's happening. You don't even know it, but you're rewiring your brains. So instead of using the side of your brain that is creative and imaginative and colorful and joyful, now you're using the side of your brain that is rational and logical, intellectual. And it lives in a world of words and numbers. Why? Because that way when you graduate, you get to go join this wonderful place called the workforce. And this will happen to you someday. You're going to go join the workforce. And what a colorful world it is, okay? And maybe you don't work in a cubicle. Maybe you go and you work in this place, like an assembly line. You make widgets, okay? And this place is a world where process is everything, right? Efficiency is everything. We got to make things. We got to do things in a time-constrained environment. Why do we go live in this world where we live in this rational, process-oriented world? Wasn't it wonderful when we were these creative, imaginative kids? Why do we go here? Because you got to make that thing so you can survive. You got to make that right there. So you rewired your whole brain from when you were a kid so that you could go out there and make this stuff. And let's face it, guys, and I know some people will argue this, but for a lot of people, especially in 2026 America, They don't even know it, but this thing is like a second God to them. It has great power over them. Okay? It changes people's behaviors. Gets people out of bed in the morning. You'll do things for other people that you might not normally do in order to get this in exchange. When we determine the worth and value of a job, and you say, hey, my kids have a good job, what does that mean? Does good mean how many people I impacted with my job? What I did for other people? No, when we say what is a good job, you know what we mean? How much money does it make, right? Does it have health insurance? Does it have a retirement? Think about it, guys. We rewired our brains, right? Because we had to. It's not wrong. We had to go out there and make this. You got to pay taxes. You got to pay the bills. You got to do all of this stuff, okay? All right? But many of you know, even after you make all the money and you have the nice house, you're safe and secure, your retirement account's got lots of money in it, right? Guess what? At some point you realize, wait a minute, I'm still missing something. What about God, right? Not the money, right? We focus so much, we rewired our brains so we can make that money, right? I'm still missing God. How do I find him? Well, Jesus said, unless you change and become like little children, you will never enter the kingdom of heaven. What he's telling you here is you got to go back. All of you have it inside of you. There's a side of your brain, right, that was that creative genius. That was the imaginative world, the creative world, the world of colors, the world of endless possibilities. That's the side of the brain that can tap into the spiritual life. All right? It doesn't tap into the world, the secular capitalist consumerist culture that we have. That's the rational, logical side of your brain. That's the one school taught you to use because you haven't survived. You have to go back to when you were a kid and you experienced joy, creativity, imagination, and colors. And this allows you, those 4 little key ingredients allows you to begin that experiencing the kingdom of heaven, experiencing that spiritual world that's all around us. We will expand on this in the main message, so keep this stuff in mind. All right?